3, 2, 1.
Jazz.
We did it.
Smooth jazz.
It's all about the numbers you don't count down to.
Your kids like jazz?
Hey, it's Boss Bear Radio for the week of July 17, 2017. I am Griff Hoffmann, and with me is James Sherer.
Hello.
And Geoff Brewer.
Hey.
Congratulations, gentlemen. We've all hit our mid-tier evolutions, I believe, since last we podcasted. Everybody has reached the mid-level.
I've evolved into Jeffrito.
He's a Jeffrey.
Jeffrito.
Jeffrito.
Yes. That's my. All the mid stages end in O for some reason.
So that would obviously make me a Griff Ho.
And I'm just Jamie, the first year resident or resident.
Germano.
Just
Germano.
resident.
Jamie, when do you plan on fully evolving into your final stage? The dad bud.
The dad bud?
Dad bud.
That's good. I gotta, so I'm working on that. I think I got like another 20 or 30 pounds.
Okay.
And then maybe another 30 years of like medical experience. And then I'm there, man.
Can I ask you a question, Jamie? Does your dad bud have a dad bod? And is he a bad dad? And can he dab?
My bad dad.
Jeff just used
Bud
Dr.
Dad.
Seuss on us all, I think.
I do not like it, Sam.
You did. But all of those things you asked me, yes.
I've seen him. I can verify it. Your father is like the platonic form of the dad bod.
That's why he's a dad bud type.
And I'm like fighting with every fiber of my being to not grow my dad bod myself. I've decided a couple days ago that I'm just going to run every day.
Jesus.
Guys, I'm trying real hard.
Jesus Christ. Is this what being a
The dad bod
resident
is
does
real.
to you? Just makes you do crazy,
guess.
like, healthy things like this?
I guess. I did hear a great story about how one of the surgery attendings is buying all of the residents' gym memberships to his gym so that you can all work out together, I guess?
Does he
I don't know.
get some kind of weird kickback for this?
Some kickback, yeah.
Like, is he going to get, like extra isogenics packets or something?
Probably.
All right. He gets to move up one level in the gym cabal.
Yeah. But being a resident, so far, still compatible with gaming, which is good. I still have the time. You know, I don't have kids or anything like somebody.
Whoa.
So I can come home and I don't need to worry about like taking care of another human life.
This guy doesn't even have fur babies. He's got a Mookie and that's all.
Yeah, true. I can sit back, relax, crack open a cold one, and just squeeze a trigger on my PlayStation 4 controller. That's what I do. Just squeeze a trigger.
You're all about squeezing. That I know about you.
Squeeze it. Yep.
That is a good
Have you
year.
guys-
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah. Have you guys been fitting games into your life recently?
Griff?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I actually feel like I've been... the variety hasn't been huge just because I don't know how you guys beat Persona so fast, but I played 60 hours of that since we last talked.
I can tell you, Jeff, it's pretty easy.
What's that?
Easy mode.
Easy mode.
Oh, I get it. See,
We're filthy casuals.
I did a different version of easy mode where I just did the whole death exploit where I just killed death 8 times.
Yeah, I did that as well.
Yeah, you got to kill death before you kill God.
Before you summon Satan.
that was all right. That whole little ending bit.
Did you finish it, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
You didn't know this?
Now we can.
It's been a
hear
while.
your thoughts on it.
It's been almost a month, over a month probably, since we last recorded. So, as I've said before, we've all evolved. We're all different critters at this point. Everybody has taken on new life goals and been saddled with different exciting yokes that will define ourselves going forward.
Jeffrino! Fredo! Jeffrino! And then when I
don't have a...
when I evolve into Jefferking, I go, Jefferking. Oh. Because we get really deep when we evolve.
Oh, man, I like Brew King better, though.
Brew King is good.
That is better.
It could also be the name of your microbrew.
Mega Brew King.
I don't have a... I'm not the kind of Pokemon that says his name. I'm like Meowth in the show, so I'll just say like certain things. I'll just like perseverate on certain things. So like if you ask Resident like, you know, to fight for you, he'll just be like, I could get you that CBC if you want, I guess. I'll just get it for you. Just go take some blood.
Just a deeply unmotivated.
That's my... Yeah, just deeply
adult
unmotivated.
Pokemon.
Yep.
Griffin, what do you do? What is your Poke voice?
My Poke voice?
Yes.
Is called I've learned Snapchat. So I make the noise that Snapchat makes, you know? You know the noise that Snapchat makes?
Nope.
That really...
I didn't know it made a noise.
You mean the noise
you know,
that it makes when you take a picture of yourself, which I've never done? That noise?
No, yeah. When it says Snapchat, or, you know, that noise it says when you start up Snapchat?
Wait, Geoff, do you mean that you've never taken a picture of yourself in Snapchat, or you've never taken a selfie, period?
I've taken selfies, like, against my will.
Okay,
like,
good.
I've taken selfies with Jessica. I've never taken a personal selfie.
Not just a solo selfie?
Hell no.
So you've never been just standing around and you're like, I am so GD fabulous right now.
No.
I want to show the world.
No.
You've never felt that way.
No. Why would I ever want to send
man.
people a picture of myself?
Because you're killing it.
I mean,
You're riding
but
high.
that would be evidence if I was killing it and then I took a picture, man. That's just basic. And I don't want to be a
So
basic
wait, I'm
bitch.
super curious. I don't want to jump the gun here, but as someone who also finished Persona 5, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on the ending.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we don't have to get too spoilery, but I just want to.
Or we
I already
can.
know how
Now that we're all there, I mean, does it really matter?
No.
I guess not. Let's
No.
get spoilery,
Let's do it.
mother grabbers.
So, what part of the ending are you wondering about?
Just
Just
let's
kind of
start
all of
generally.
it, you know?
I'm trying to remember. Okay, so
All
you go in
three of
there.
them, all three
You're
endings?
trying to kill an inanimate object, and then you can't do it. And then I don't. Oh, I remember now. That's right. Okay, it's all coming back to me. And then you vanish, and the city's all gross. And then your dude's like, "Oops, I'm a different dude." And then you kill God.
So I think that your feeling was complete indifference, from what I'm hearing.
No, I
from
liked
your
it.
voice.
I had a good time
Okay.
with that game from start to finish. It was really, really long, but I enjoyed it. What was your feeling, Jamie?
I thought it was typical anime ending territory. I didn't dislike it. I didn't like how there, like Griff says, there was like an ending and then another ending and then another ending, and then I guess I got the good ending, or the real ending.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember. So it ends with them like in a bus and driving
Yeah, that
off
was
into
awesome.
the sunset, and
That was
everyone's
perfect.
happy.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was good. It was
was
good,
so
but
nice.
it was total. It was total nonsense.
Which part?
I just feel so. Generally speaking, I feel like when anime style endings, they are so preoccupied with wrapping things up that they fabricate things in the process of telling the ending.
But
add.
don't you remember the pancakes? Don't you remember
That was
the
so dumb.
pancakes?
How do you remember the pancakes from like 80 hours ago?
So not-
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say, so not bad, but I just feel like they are rewriting the rules of their universe in an attempt to like put a bow on it
With the god,
and
you
I
mean.
feel like it's. Yeah, and I feel like it's
Fair,
unnecessary, and also it drags things out, and it takes some of the mystery away from the world. I don't know.
No, I agree with you, Jamie. That like twist at the end was a little bit. I wasn't feeling it. Like it was like, oh, like a lot of our journey just seems like it was kind of superfluous, and I don't really understand like what. So it was like, okay, all the bad guys are people who've escaped from the prison, but they're not good. It was very strange.
Yep. Welcome to Persona.
It didn't ruin the game for me at all. Unlike Dragon Age, which, I mean, come on.
Never heard of it.
The people who listen to this show, these cuts are so deep and so meaningless to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it didn't ruin the game for me, but it was a little bit weird. It was like, oh, this is a thing now. Like, Shido was a really cool villain, but I feel like, given the nature of how, like, after you get them to confess, you have to, like, wait 2 weeks or whatever, or however long it takes. Like, I feel like something had to happen, so there could be an end date, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like, okay. Well, I guess they could have had you go into Shido's palace on the last day, but like, the way they set it up, it was like, they kind of boxed themselves into a corner. Because if they're giving you 2 weeks to finish it, then, like...
Comparing everything, again, and I think I talked about this last time, too, to Persona 4, like, you could very easily miss a good chunk of the end of Persona 4, unless you really are playing it, like, by guide. In this game, it's kind of, obvious things, and you get kind of pushed in the direction of the final marathon run through the, oh boy, what's it called? The Labyrinth?
Mementos?
Mementos, yeah.
Yeah.
So it felt unnecessarily long in comparison to 4, where I really felt like you discover something when you find that extra long ending, and especially too with like the revelation of it just being like, this is where everything's coming from. It was cool, but it definitely wasn't as cool as Persona 4. And the other thing I was going to say too is the Morgana. That I love that part. I did love the Morgana part. That revelation.
Agreed.
Yeah, that was cool.
How it was like, wow, that's a cool black cat with a yellow scarf. He's adorable. And then after you go through that ending, you're like, oh, it's a blue cat with a yellow scarf. That's really cool.
Wasn't? Oh, I see what you're saying, because those are the colors.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
Colors.
That's a thing. Wasn't the mascot?
And then Igor's voice being backward or being wrong too was good.
Well, for fans, but I didn't know that.
Right. In 4, it's very much he has a voice.
Yeah.
And in 5, it's like, his voice is weird. Different interpretation, I guess.
Nope. Isn't the mascot in 4 just a guy in a suit?
No, it's a shadow. It's a shadow that develops his own persona, and then his persona. So it's the inverse. Instead of it being a person who develops a persona in the shadow world, it's a shadow that develops a persona and then manifests as a person in the real world.
Oh, I see. Okay,
That's super awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
that is pretty cool. Yeah. No, I think that they were trying to like set up this payoff, but I think that. Like, the interview thing that played out over the course of the game actually kind of worked when you got right down to it, sort of, maybe.
I liked it. I loved that a lot.
I did too,
It
ultimately.
was a good framing device.
It ended up being good, and the fact that there was a reveal at the like a big reveal at the culmination of that interview, which I guess we could get into if you want, was great, and I liked that reveal a lot. I think that they had intended to have to do more with this ultimate reveal, but I think that it didn't really feel like there were any stakes to it. Like, it was just like, oh, this is the last boss. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this person's been manipulating me from the start, and it really feels that way. It didn't, recontextualize anything really in any meaningful way. It just made things feel kind of incoherent, I think. Mm-hmm. But hey, it's God, and you have to kill God. That was cool. Taken as a self-contained arc, it kind of worked, but it wasn't really, something that could be you couldn't go back and think this really makes me see this scenario in a different light. It was just oh, we got to the end, here's the true last boss.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes. Yeah.
So what did you think about the playing through to the end of the game on not easy difficulty like Griff and I did?
I never game overed really. I think I did early on once or twice, but after I got to the later palaces, I was fine. It was, I don't know, I was able to get through. And by the last palace, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do the whole thing again, so I'm just gonna level up. And then if you back attack enemies, you just kill them.
Yeah.
How much
yes,
time?
That is very nice. I kind of got to that same level, Geoff, that you were at, where I could do that in Shido's Palace and then the Mementos after that.
I just did it in Mementos.
How much extra time did you spend
grinding?
Leveling up? Yeah, grinding.
I don't really think I did any grinding. Like, I don't know, like you go through the palace. I wouldn't like just kill enemies until I gain levels. Because it's not really how the game works. Like, I guess it sort of is, but levels... I don't know, I just went through and you naturally gain levels as you fight all the enemies. You just don't skip any battles.
I think the way you grind Persona is not necessarily in that you spend a bunch of time in dungeons, but it's how you manage your time. So if you want to grind Persona, you super micromanage your time where you're doing like...
That's the grinding I did, yeah.
Yeah. You go to Mementos and you burn yourself into a husk and then you leave. Not the character, but like you as a human being playing the game where you're like, I've been here for 3 hours and I need to go eat dinner. It's 3 a.m.
The only thing that I had to grind for money a few times, but it was never for more than like 40 minutes or so.
What were you trying to buy?
Oh, I don't know. Like I would
love.
Yeah, pretty much. I would spend a lot of money on like fortune readings, and weapon upgrades were really expensive.
Oh,
you
you did the
easily
fortune
drop like
teller.
300 or 400K on weapon upgrades each time.
Well, I would only upgrade weapons like every couple times. I found that that was good enough to get me through.
Yeah.
And I did not do the fortune teller. And I can imagine that I mean, off the bat, that's 100K, right? Or 50K or something?
It's 100K for the initial investment, which wasn't too bad, but it's 5,000 for each reading. So I would literally do, pretty much every day I would do a reading to get someone closer to me.
I started using the readings later in the game too, just for like stat boosts and to try and like get through the relationships, Geoff. Like, or no, I never got relationships. It was just stat boosts. I hated that lady. I had no interest in interacting with her.
I didn't really hate anyone. Like, no one was particularly offensive to me. Like, and I went through them all. They were all fine. Like, I feel like it's hard to be like, oh, like I helped you with this one thing and now we're in love. It's like,
Geoff,
okay.
I think you put it the best when you said like you were absolutely the worst fucking phantom thief in the entire world because everybody figures it out.
They're all like, "Oh, it's you," and you're like, "Oh God." But it's cool because if you get them all to like you, then they all show up during the ending. So even though the ending, and I'm sure this was probably a thing in 4 as well, but like even though the ending felt a little cheap, like it's cool because everyone gets to get together and like their bonds are what carry you through. So like you see everyone showing up being like, I believe in the Phantom Thieves, and it's cool.
Yes.
That also happens in Horizon Zero Dawn, except it's better. No, I kid. I really liked this game. But so Geoff, do you see yourself? So I really liked Persona 5 as well.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself ever? And Griffin, the way Griffin describes 4, it sounds even better. Do you see yourself if you're ever in a position where you're like, I really feel like I'm in the mood to play a JRPG? Could you see yourself going back and playing 4 after playing 5?
Absolutely not. Zero chance. If 5 is the quality of life improvements version, then fuck ever going back. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It'd be really tough to go back.
I don't know. I don't
know
know how you did it, Griffin. You're a monster. Twice.
Yep. If there was a Persona 5 Crimson or whatever they're gonna make, the upgraded version like there always is for all the Persona games, I could potentially see myself replaying it.
You crazy man! How? It's so long. I can't spend another 150 hours in this game.
Yeah.
But then again, I maxed everything. So, Griffin.
The way Griff says it just sounds he's already been he was defeated years ago.
Griffin has to get the platinum
in the cult
for no reason at all.
Listen, it's actually really nice. Hunter downloaded MLB The Show 17 on my PlayStation 4. So
how is it?
He's been playing it a lot. And that means that I can't play games. So that means I either have to go play PC games or go outside or go to the gym, which is what I've been doing. So having that roadblock in my life has really helped a lot for me. I'm like, oh, I could go play Tales from the Borderlands, or I'll just make a really cool dinner.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice.
So I'm sure there'll be a point in which, in 2018, if we were all make it to that point, that I'd be like, I'm ready for Persona again.
I feel like it needs to be like I'm happy that these games have like 5-year development cycles because there's no way I'm going back anytime soon. Like I just can't. I loved it. I mean, I had a wonderful time and like, I don't know that these people are people whom I feel deeply connected to, although maybe like that worked a little bit, but you know, it was fun to be in that world, but I'm done now.
Geoff, if you were to hypothetically replay it, I know it's a long shot, but would you min-max it again, or would you consider like doing I guess that's a tough one to call since you touched all the bases essentially for the relationship.
Kinda like I don't know. I guess I could fish every day. I did that a few times once I ran out of people to do.
Read all them books.
I tried to read all them books. I don't know which ones I missed because I read a ton of them.
The library books.
I read all the library books.
Oh.
Or maybe I missed one library book. I don't know.
Is there a Chivo for reading all the books?
There is a Chivo, yeah. But I missed the Chivo, sadly. Yeah, because I got early, what was that lady? Kawakami. I got an early Kawakami. Like, I wanted her first because she gives you more actions. So.
I wanted her first. Called her on the phone.
No, you mean I wanted her first. Frito, Frito. So yeah, it'd be hard for me to go back just because I did min-max and like to go back into that world and be like, I've seen like 90% of the content in this game. I don't think I need to play another round for the extra 10%. It just wouldn't work.
Would you either of you ever play like a Persona 5 spin-off game, like a fighting game or a dancing game, you know, like they did for Persona 4? Are you attached to any of the characters or the story or anything where you're like, I would like to be in this world more? That
I'm going to go ahead and say no, unless it was a game that I also was interested in. Like, I don't know. That didn't happen to me. Like, I'm like, these characters, I like these characters. Like, I had a great time with them, but no.
I mean, the crazy thing about the Persona 4 fighting game, the Persona Arena, Ultimax, whatever, is it does expand on the story of Persona 4, and they take characters in like crazy new directions, and you're meeting characters from Persona 3, of course, because they're in the game too, and it's like, what if the detective agency meets up with the high school superheroes, and like it'd be like, what if the Phantom Thieves are now meeting up with Suzuki? What's his name? No, that's
Nakami
just
or Nanami
Nakamura.
Or something. Yeah, something like that. But like, how do they even explain that stuff? Like, I feel like they'd have to retcon it, or like be like, oh, it's the new school year, but somehow we're all back together. Because don't all the games just end with you just leaving or dying? Apparently, it's like a Persona 3 thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Persona 3, you die, and then I think Fess, your character may go get rescued, or at least there's like the question mark of, are you still out there, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I getcha.
Search for Spock kind of situation.
I guess I would want it to be like, are these games like authored to the point that you're like, okay, this is the same team, like whoever did this has a clear vision that they were thinking about when they made the original game, or are they just like, oh, everyone's together and they're meeting, it's a crossover, isn't that weird?
Every one of them kind of fulfills a different need. Like, the Persona fighting game was like, hey, do you want a deeper look into the Persona world and how these people may actually interact with other Persona users? And then the Dance All Night Long was like, yo, man, just fucking listen to this music. What if they're wearing different dancey clothes? It's pretty
Hey, you
good,
guys,
right?
do you like it when 9-year-olds dance, you fucking weirdos? We got a game for you.
Do you like it that the fact the main character's persona has a sword that looks like a guitar, but now we made it a guitar that you can turn around and there's a guitar on each side, and oftentimes it happens?
That's pretty badass.
It's pretty freaking cool. It's like the Darth Maul lightsaber of guitars.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe if it were really good. I mean, I know the characters now, so I could. I have that capacity. I wouldn't just be like in this incoherent world now.
I have a strange desire to hear Ryuji just go like, "Oh, I'm so mad." If there was a game where it was just Ryuji reacting to things, I would play that.
I thought you were going to say like a Ryuji dating sim, or Ryuji like, what is it, the food making game where everybody's super stressed out.
I just want like a Ryuji like Tamagotchi, where it's just his face, and you press a button and he goes, "Oh, man, and that's it.
Fuck Ryuji, though. I want, what's his name? It's been too long already.
Yeah, I kind of went through the same thing, Geoff.
Blue hair. What's blue hair called?
Sasuke.
Close.
Yusuke?
Yusuke. Yeah, I want Yusuke. Give me a Yusuke game.
Yusuke paints.
Where he just asks everyone around him to get naked all the time. That'll be the game.
What are those keys for? You got to figure out what those keys are for.
He just comes up behind people and like outstretches his hand.
Can you tell me the meaning of love and desire? I would play that game. I would play a Galgun featuring Yusuke, except he just shoots everyone with his Galgun. That's the one where you make their clothes fall off, right?
I think so. That or Akiba Strip, and what's the big one? Not Gankabancho. The shmup
titty twister.
No, the shmup one.
Sennen Kagura?
No, the shmup one where it's like a bunch of super buff dudes, like a buff dude that's naked. That's a
Dual Love.
Ship. No, not Dual Love.
That's a DS man touching game.
No. This is the shmup, and.
I know what you're talking about. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jamie, take it.
Yeah.
I do not... Galgun? I don't know.
Nope, it's not that. We'll find it. Keep going. You guys keep talking,
Geoff,
I'll find it.
Look it up. So I'm really happy that everybody has gotten through Persona 4, and then everybody here's finished Zelda this year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the other big kind of... spanning RPG, JRPG on my list was Nier Automata. I got through that. I don't remember if I finished or if I talked about it last podcast, but I got through the additional endings.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, nice.
I'm really happy to hear that.
And was super happy about that whole thing. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the big three for me.
Oh, Griffin's paused.
So
he's noticed that we're having trouble hearing him. Also, just to jump in.
Hello. So I enjoyed.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I still have to go through, and it's the next thing I'm going to do. I think
you should.
I still have to
I think you'd really like it, Jamie.
It's still a significant time investment, though, right?
Yes.
I didn't think it was that bad. It's maybe like another 10 to 15 hours all told.
Well, I haven't even beaten it once.
Oh. So you probably will put about 20 some odd hours into the whole package, I would say.
That's not bad.
No.
If you can separate yourself from doing the side quests,
do a few side quests, but don't do them all.
Don't feel like you need to mop the whole thing up.
No.
I heard you can come back. I heard you can come back and do some of the side quests in subsequent playthroughs when you kind of have a better sense of like what the story payoff will be of those side quests. Is that true?
They work even in the first playthrough, and I would say you can come back, but there was one that glitched out on me that I could not finish.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, Cho and Iki is the game you were thinking of.
There it is. Thank you.
No problem. But yeah, Griff, so what did you think of the endings? Did you feel they added to the? I mean, obviously, C and D or whatever were totally different, but did you enjoy yourself?
I loved it.
Yes.
It was one of those things where it's like, I know I give you guys crap for not finishing games, and I really feel like this is one of those things where I'm so happy I went back to it and went through the whole course of it, because it's a Nier game. Of course, you need to play it 18 times, and the true final 15th ending is the most awesome ending. It was so good.
Did you get
and
ending
it got
E,
so
Griff?
bonkers crazy. What was that?
Did you get ending E? The
A, B, C, D.
The shooting one.
Yes.
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 That was cool.
Yes, I did the Nier thing.
You did the Nier thing. I didn't do the Nier thing. I opted not to.
Really?
So
Yeah.
Griff. So
Why?
Griff, what?
You don't have to. Sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
But why would you not?
Because I might want to return to that.
So
A
you're
little more.
just a leech, just leeching.
I'm just a
onto
leech.
those
I'm just a
folks
monster. I
that
might
helped
eventually.
You're not
going to
help them back. You're just going to take, consume.
Yes, that's what humans do.
Oh,
Go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
I just wanted to ask Griff how his opinion of the game changed after he finished it the first time, and then after he finished it like the 20 whateverth time.
I don't really think my opinion changed very much. Like it was more of just like, okay, I finished Nier. I have other games that I need to play right now, namely Persona, and it was very much like a nice kind of palate cleanser to go from a long Persona style game where it's like you know what you're going to get into with every battle, you know what you're going to do, and then to get into Nier, back into Nier where you're like, okay, it's action, it's fun, it's exciting, it's like dynamic and big and dumb. And I had a great time with it for that reason. That's why I could keep playing it over and over and over and over again. But at the same time, it's also like, a little long in the tooth here, Nier.
A little bit towards the end, but yeah, go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
I was just going to say, so I've heard a lot of people say that after they played the first playthrough, they thought it was cool and good, but like they weren't really blown away by it. And then only after getting through like the second, third, and fourth and like the other core endings does it really show its true colors and become something completely unique. Is that what that's I guess what I was asking. Did you like love it when you finished it the first time and you just loved it the exact same after you finished it the other times, or did you like the other endings more or less, or find them more interesting?
That's a good point. I loved the first playthrough because it was like, oh, it's a platinum game. It's perfect dodge, great combat, so much fun, interesting world to be in, great diversity of gameplay. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to walk away. And then I played it for the second playthrough, and I was like, oh, here we're doing this differently now. We're going to do this shooter game. And that really helped kind of like get through it. However, it was a lot of the same story. But then the way they interjected, the way the game injected kind of different situations and different tidbits of the story into it, I really enjoyed that. So I'd say that it was a steady build. Like I never went to it and was like, oh, this was okay at best. I loved it. And then it was like, this is great, this is better, this is so good. And then finally at the final portion of it's like, this is freaking bonkers.
Yes. The other thing to know, Jamie, is that first of all, we've done this before, so we knew to expect that there would be more. So for me, like I was like, oh, this is a nice self-contained game. I'm sure there are additional mysteries. Some of which I guessed pretty early on, some of which I did not guess at all, which is great. But something to know about kind of the flow is that, so the way it works is to get the important... So there's 26 endings, but most of them don't matter. The ones that do matter are A through E, and to get... So A and B are basically the same playthrough twice, just with some differences,
different perspectives.
Yeah, and B goes faster than A for sure.
Yeah,
and you kind of know when you're skipping stuff that you've already done. No? Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. I now that I'm thinking about this, I had this thought and I meant to share it. So let me say it. This was Nier Automata was Metal Gear Solid 5 done right.
Whoa.
Like, in its goofy, let's do this crazy story and have these weird swings and narrative and revelations, and a 2/3 of way through the game preview of the next part of the game.
Yes, that was very much right on par with Metal Gear Solid. I did think of that. I was like, is there going to be like no game left now?
Yeah. It was fantastic, and it very much was like, oh, so this is how you do it. Sorry.
Yeah, and so after you do the two playthroughs, Jamie, of the first part, the remaining endings are just basically accrued from one additional playthrough of entirely new material. So you play through the same part twice, and then you play through an additional piece, which is totally separate, and doesn't feel... You know, it is additional, not alongside. It is like a totally its own thing. And then from that like third piece, you can very easily, like within the span of about 20 minutes, get the remaining two endings.
Yeah,
interesting.
Unless you forget to save.
Oh,
like I did.
No! Oh no!
So I replayed one of those endings twice.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah, so it's the time investment is not as daunting as you may think, Jamie. It's not like you have to just like go through the same shit over and over again. It kind of fakes you out a little bit because in the original Nier, like you really did just have to play through the same segment over and over and over. In this, you do that once, and then after that, the game's like, no, do something different. So it's not too bad.
No.
Cool. I'm definitely going to do it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's some real cool stuff, and it's worth noting that on that second playthrough, there are parts, because the perspective changes. There are parts that are just completely different.
Can I make a transition? Unless you guys have more to say about it.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
So I'd like to talk about another game where you play the same time frame over and over again, but with different results, and that is the Sexy Brutale, which is basically a new take on Ghost Trick, which I didn't think I wanted until I realized that while playing this, that Ghost Trick was amazing.
Yep.
And I can't believe that they haven't made a game like that since then.
Ghost Trick is superlative.
And this game is, in my opinion, better than Ghost Trick. It takes the Ghost Trick. It takes the Ghost Trick idea and it actually brings it to fruition in a way.
Excuse me?
That I.
What do you mean brings to fruition? How do you improve on perfection?
Okay, maybe not. It takes it in a different direction, which I feel is good. It's different enough so that it doesn't feel like it's just aping Ghost Trick. Mm-hmm. It's a 3D world, so obviously that changes things a little bit, and it puts more emphasis on the group of characters that you're exposed to and you're trying to save from being murdered. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really good, and I think you guys should give it a try.
I had read good things.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically it's you're in a mansion and you have the ability to relive the same day over and over again, and you have to go to different points in the mansion and save individual people from being murdered. There's, I believe, maybe 8 other people in the mansion, and at different points during the day, they're all going to be murdered. And your job is to kind of explore the mansion, find where they're murdered, why they're murdered, how they're murdered, and then intervene in a way so that doesn't happen. And it's really cool. It's really mind-bendy. The puzzles are really well thought out. The art style, the way the mansion looks, is really kind of cool, and it has this unique look that I don't see a lot in games. It's kind of, I don't know, Sherlock Holmes meets burlesque meets, I don't know. I really can't describe it. But once
Moulin Rouge?
Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge. It's really cool. I think you guys should check it out.
Jamie, the main character is they pretty limited in their ability to traverse, right? You have to get help to traverse the environment or something. Isn't that a thing? Or you're short or something?
You're really slow.
Okay.
And there are a series of clocks spread throughout the mansion, and you have to strategically decide which clock you're going to quote-unquote sync to, because whichever clock you choose, when the day restarts, that's where you're going to be.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
So you have to choose, I'm going to be here because I want to be really close to this guy when he does this, so that then I can, interrupt his plan in this way. And it's really cool. The thing that it adds to the Ghost Trick formula...
there's one true path? When you get through it, is it okay, I keep redoing these things because now I've done section A, now I'm going to do section B and C and D and E, and you can only do them one way to get to the best solution, or is there a little bit more malleability in it?
It's pretty rigid. If it's not an open world type game, that
sure.
said, the entire mansion, which is running clockwork every day and the same thing happens every day, is open to you. It's almost like Metroidvania-esque in that you'll gain certain powers that allow you to access other parts of the mansion, but the entire mansion goes through its cycle every day, and you can go anywhere every day.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So that's cool about it. And I was going to say, I think the thing it adds to Ghost Trick, which I wouldn't have told you Ghost Trick needed, but what it adds to Ghost Trick is
another
a little
dog.
More story and
the main character
and
is
exploration.
A cat. Again.
It adds exploration, which is really cool, and it gives the game another level. It's this creepy mansion, and it's supernatural in certain ways. So, really cool game. Shannon got so obsessed she platinumed it for me. I put her to work getting all the trophies. We beat the game, and then 2 days later she was like...
Oh, she won 10 online matches straight, right? That's really good.
Yeah, right.
Playing online with a developer. Impressive.
Did she see
It's the
every
kind of game
dialogue
where you get
option?
stumped. You get stumped, and then like you'll be doing something different. Like you'll be eating dinner, and then you'll be like, oh, "But what if I go there and
that's
do
fun.
that?" And then you're like, you can't wait to get back to it and try your theory. So.
It's good to
And
hear.
there's some really mind-bendy stuff in this game. There was one thing that Shannon figured out. I think it is the most lateral thinking required in a puzzle game I've ever seen. I never would have come to it on my own. And it's really meta.
Whoa.
There are a couple kind of lateral leaps in thinking that you have to make to save.
Did
these
you have to
people.
plug
Really
the
cool
controller
game.
into the second player?
Not quite, but there's one thing that's kind of in that vein, which is really cool.
In the
that's
castle
that
vein?
Whoa.
Yep. Hi-yo.
That excites me because I had heard that it wasn't very hard, and to know that actually it is mind-bending brings me back. Because I was reading it and I was like, yeah, and they're like, and it's really easy, and I was like, fuck. But
At the end, there's a couple things. It does have a nice kind of gradual, upslope.
all right,
Whoa.
all right, I'm into it. I'm
Well,
back.
speaking of games that are very challenging, Geoff, you're playing Final Fantasy 12?
I am playing Final Fantasy 12. I haven't gotten too far, so I won't give too much of an impression, and it's kind of old news, but I have always kind of wanted to go deeper into that game. I've been drawn to the storytelling. I know that Jamie famously threw his PlayStation 2 out a window because he was so annoyed by the game. But it's really it's like the translation is good, and it's medievally and it feels legit. I don't know, like it. I don't think I've gotten to the point where it becomes bad for many people. Maybe that was a thing for you, Jamie, but I've always wanted to be involved in that world, and I've played it before, but what always irked me about it was just that the license boards are the same for everyone, and like there's no variety in the characters, and the job system completely solves that for me. So I'm back. I want to give it a shot. I don't really have a lot to say about it, but I'm excited to try once more.
So I have a couple things to say. First of all, I will say that me throwing my PlayStation 2 out the window was maybe more about me at that time than about the game necessarily. But I have a couple questions for you, sir. So I will rattle them off, and you can answer them in any order you like.
Yes.
I want you to talk about the way that it looks. Does it look better? And I didn't know that they replaced the whole board with a job system. So can you explain what the hell that is?
I can. So this is based off the International Zodiac job system version of Final Fantasy 12. So for Final Fantasy 10 and 12, this is too much of a history lesson, but basically it used to be that like games would come out in Japan and then they come out in the US, and then like they'd have features that the Japanese version didn't have because they came out really far apart. But then somewhere down the line that changed, and what would happen is like they'd come out in the US and then Japan would release what's called an international version. And so that happened first for Final Fantasy X, and that's where they added in like that extra super boss called Penance, and like extra dark aeons, and like the expert sphere grid and stuff. They did the same thing with Final Fantasy 12, except instead of adding like new scenarios and new monsters and stuff, all they did was basically rebalance everything in the game. And they also changed the license boards. So now instead of everyone having the same board, each character has to choose a job at the beginning of the game. And then they have a board for that job. And that board doesn't have every ability on it. It just has some abilities.
Can you get multiple jobs?
So in this re-release, you can get 2 jobs. In the original, you could only get 1. But now you can get 2, and there are 12 total. So in theory, you could use every single job if you wanted to. I have not gotten to the point where you get the second job. But yeah,
Can you get no job? Is there like a welfare version?
No, there's no freelancer, which is Final Fantasy.
Freelancer or free loafer? Freeloader.
I like free loafer.
Freelancer is Final Fantasy's
loafer.
term
Play
for
free loafer.
layabout. No, you can't be unaffiliated because you can't learn abilities until you choose the job. So that's one change. Like I said, there's a lot of rebalancing going on, which I don't really care about because I never got that far in Final Fantasy 12. I've only played it once before, and I just didn't like the license board at that point. The other nice quality of life feature, which I'm already loving, is the fact that you can fast forward at any time. You can fast forward either doubling the speed of the game or quadrupling the speed of the game.
Nice.
And that seems highly useful.
So, like in combat, when you're walking around,
anytime you're on the field, or like in the enemy, like in the town fields or the enemy fields, you can double or quadruple the speed.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like so, battles could be quadruple the speed.
Yep.
And battles are somewhat automatic, right? So you can
Yep.
just watch a battle play out at quadruple speed.
Pretty
and
much.
just
I
sit
mean,
back and
you could sit back. I mean, depending on how well you like tweak your gambits and shit, like you may need to intervene. And you can always. The nice thing about 12, which I like, is that so you have your auto battle shit, but you can also jump in at any point and issue a command to any character. So like you have that kind of sit back, relax, and just kind of run around killing everything thing you could do at quadruple speed, no less. Or you can get really granular if you're fighting a tough battle. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, no, I'm into it. The stuff that they've added, while not like absolutely game changing, is great. And I'm happy to go back to this game because I kind of lamented when I got rid of my PS2. I was like, this is the one game that I'm a little reluctant to let go because I never really gave it its fair shake. So I'm excited.
how does it look?
Oh yeah, I was going to tell you that piece. So they updated it. It certainly looks HD. It's not anything revelatory. It's still the same basic polygons and textures and stuff. They just kind of tightened them up a bit. The one hilarious thing they did was they improved the quality of fabrics. So like Pinello, I've noticed like her outfit is like really nice looking. Oddly enough, like it's like very well textured. Like they just redid the textures on clothes. so for some reason her outfit looks really legitimate, and then like the rest of her is just like,
therefore I chose her first.
you gotta do early Pinello.
Is the story intelligible?
I think the story is very intelligible. It's like a little
Okay.
It's a little old Englishy, but it's not. So you guys remember when they retranslated Final Fantasy Tactics and it was just terrible?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's that except not terrible. It's like that except well executed.
I've always heard that the story of Final Fantasy XII is excellent. It's just I have no desire to play that game at all.
And I understand that.
Why is that?
Yeah, go ahead.
The gambit system, how bloated it became with its size after kind of Final Fantasy XI. It's like, oh, let's make everything bigger. You know what people like in video games? Bigger. You know what Final Fantasy X didn't have? Just big. So I was like, I'm not really into this. And the like I said, the gambit system is not for me. Like that's also kind of why I didn't love Dragon Age 1 and 2, because I didn't want to like build code for my characters.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's kind of why I turn that off in Persona games.
If it doesn't scratch that itch for you, then I understand. Like, and I'm not the kind of person who wants to relinquish control of my characters, but you can get surprised. Like, it depends on whether you care more about giving up control or whether you care more about like choosing each action yourself. Like, because you can get so granular with the gambits that you can actually do really cool stuff.
Oh, for
you
sure.
Feel like
for
you
sure.
authored. Like, it's not just like you just click like choose wisely and then they just kind of like cast spells over and over again until they run out of MP. Like, you can actually like build an if-then chain and you like feel like a smart person.
I like that, and that's a level that I don't want to get to. That's why I'm like, I don't want to build the code for this game.
And if that doesn't appeal to you, then I get that. And it is it is like big, massive, sprawling dungeons with lots of enemies, but that's where quad speed is really nice. So. But yeah, I'll let you guys know how I feel about the story as it unfolds. I've made some progress, and it feels pretty competent to me. So I like Balthier a lot. He's a cool dude.
As he should.
Yeah.
And Freya, best voice actress ever that never came back for anything.
Yeah, Fran's a great voice actress. I don't know why everyone sounds like they're talking into like a shitty walkie-talkie. Even with the enhanced, because they said they're like HD vocals, and like they are better, but they still are just talking into walkie-talkies. I don't understand it.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't mind too much.
Yeah. The thing that kills me about the whole game is like, with the developer interviews, they said it was initially a game about Balthier only, and
Bosch,
then they had to where's Balthier coming from? Bosch. Wait. No.
Balthier's a character too, but apparently Bosch was supposed to be the main character.
Bosch is which one?
Bosch is the one who is like the knight captain.
He's the knight. Yes. It was supposed to be about him, and then they had to put in Vaughn and Pinello to fucking rating it up for MGS2 kind of thing. Like, make it palatable to an audience.
Yeah.
Lowest common denominator, and that makes me sad.
I'm Captain Bosch. Don't believe Ondor's lies.
One of the greatest M60
Back to 64, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep.
There's not much more to say on that one because it is an old game. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to dig deep into the jump system and feel like the characters are actually distinct. So
I love the fact that Square is putting out old games with this mode in it that's like, just make the garbage go faster. Where it's like Final Fantasy VII's like quadruple speed as well.
Well, they did it in 9 because the battles are so goddamn long.
Yeah.
It's like, just speed it up. But
I like it. Give me that and save states and we're good to go.
Yeah, they added autosave as well, which is nice. So if you die somewhere, it's
nice.
no big deal. Yeah. Hey, speaking of games that we've already played, I've been checking out Zelda Master Mode because I was on vacation, and I got another Switch game too, but I was on vacation, and I was like, I got nothing to play. So I was just staring at the buy screen for a long time, and I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. Second save file. And that game's still really good. I really enjoy it a lot.
Are you powering up the Master Sword?
I haven't tried that yet, because I pretty much just maxed everything in that file, so I don't really care that much. So I just started a new file. I'm choosing thus far not to get any upgrades. And I
Interesting.
Want, because I want, like, it's harder, obviously, but I found that the upgrades more or less trivialize the late game. So I want to keep it challenging throughout. And
the upgrades as in what, the shrines or the guardians?
Huh? The shrines. I don't know what you mean by guardians.
Gotcha.
Oh, you mean the 4 temples? Oh, no, I'm doing that.
Okay.
I'm also changing my order. I'm getting the super jump first.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I'm not going to upgrade my stamina at all, so I'm like, I need to have like a means
that makes
to
sense,
get
yeah.
high. Yeah. So I'm excited. It's fun, and I like the little floating platforms. They don't like transform the game, but they're cool. It's fun to strategize how to get to them. I found that to be interesting. Also, there's just Lionels everywhere. Like, there's a Lionel in the first area.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's cool. I like it a lot.
Terrifying.
Yeah, and there's some other minor tweaks, like enemies regen health now. If you don't hit them quickly enough, everyone's upgraded to a higher tier. But I like it a lot, and that game is still really good. And yeah, I don't know how they did what they did, but it's really cool. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Cool.
Just a quick question. It's not on anybody's list, but did anybody do the Splatfest this weekend?
I was busy, unfortunately. I wanted to, but I did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Griff, did you?
No, I didn't. But
yeah, I was really bummed that I missed it. But yeah, unfortunately, I was tied up.
I think that is going to be interesting when that game comes out. And in the meantime, maybe we should talk about ARMS.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's do it. Griff,
whoa.
sounds like you have some thoughts.
Have you guys played ARMS together?
No, I'd love to play it after this podcast.
Yeah,
if you
could do that.
Yes.
I only played it with friends in the same room, trying to convince them to bring their Joy-Con over so we could play multiplayer. But
Share
they keep
the joy.
forgetting.
Share the joy.
So everybody can do the punch maneuvers. Otherwise, we just do like the little itty bitty thing, and that's no fun. So we just like played through the story a couple times, or the versus mode a couple times together, like 3 or 4 of us, and then that game's okay.
That's how I feel.
I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. I haven't played much of it, but I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's great. It's the kind of game where someone like Shannon can pick it up. She can beat me instantly. Like it kind of, because the control scheme is so different, it doesn't matter if you've been playing games for years or if you're brand new. You're kind of on an equal playing field, and I like when games do that. I just don't think there's a whole lot there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I beat the single player, and I felt accomplished, and then I was back at the menu, and I was like, I don't really feel like doing any of this other stuff, and there's not even that much to do.
Yeah, it's a fighting game. It's got the number of modes that a fighting game has in it.
It's tough though because it's not a fighting game in that you're like, well, now I'm gonna play as Master Mummy because he plays significantly different than
that's true.
Ribbon Girl. It's like, oh no, they all have the same movesets. It's just the punches, the fists have very slight variations on how they go out, and not in a way that you're like, I'm playing a charge character versus an input character in like a Street Fighter game.
That is true. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's fun though. I enjoy the game, but yeah, I hear you.
I saw a guy playing it today at the Barnes & Noble in the Starbucks inside the Barnes & Noble by himself with the Switch like on the table in front of him, and he was like, like in the air with the Joy-Con, like just out in the open. It was badass.
He's just waiting for challengers. Do you challenge him? You quarter up?
I was afraid. I was very scared.
Jamie, speaking of public Switch play, have you played Switch in the hangout room for residents yet?
No, I haven't been on call yet, which is like freaking amazing.
That is amazing.
I'm sure when I'm on call, I will bring it. I mean, it's in my backpack every day. Just waiting.
Yeah.
I had an interesting moment when I first tried to play ARMS, and that was I had it out of the dock because I didn't want it to warp. So when ARMS came in,
I can't believe you're falling for this stuff.
I didn't want it to warp.
But this is not you. You're not this man.
Well, I mean, no, I'm very much a person that can easily put a system aside and not play it. So I was like, I'm not going to play this for like 3 more months.
Yeah,
so it just kind of sat around.
Yeah.
And so I put it in and I'm like, all right, let's play some ARMS. And then both Joy-Con were dead. And it took like 3 hours to charge them.
Wait, really?
Like, oh, yeah, super dead.
How did you kill your Joy-Con, bro? I guess because it was sitting out.
It was sitting out. There's no charge on them. No, nothing.
Do they charge when it's plugged?
The little rabbits inside weren't doing anything.
The marbles, where'd they go? Does it charge when you're plugged into like your like non-switch USB 3 power source?
I don't have
or USB-C rather.
I think so.
Okay. You should get an external battery, Griff. Those things are godsends. Anyway,
I don't play it enough for that to matter.
Fair.
But now we're back in the charger. We're ready to go.
All right.
So.
All right. Well, you better be ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you some moves you ain't never seen before.
All right.
I played it once, but I want to play it again because I had fun. Hey, can I talk about another Switch game real quick before you guys get into like Next Machina and stuff?
Do it.
All right. So I was looking for shit to do when I was on vacation. I felt like ARMS would not be a good portable experience because flailing your arms around is never something you can do around other humans and be treated like a normal person. So I grabbed Gonner, which is it's like a score attack, roguelite, all the things game where you basically you just like kit up with some gear, which you can unlock as you play the game, like a gun, a hat, and a special attack, and you just try to get as far as you can, and there's weird little secrets, and it's got kind of a cool little art style, and it's pretty fun. I don't really have a lot to say about it, but it's pretty addictive.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good game. You guys should watch some videos of it. It's got a really unique art style. It's got like little Nidhogg-esque monsters that eat you as you travel to and from each stage, which is cool. And it's really fun. It's good. It's like side-scrolling downwell is how I would describe it.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, you guys should check it out.
In that vein, I'll just knock out Cave Story for the Switch, which is Cave Story for the Switch, and it's really good. And if you're like me and you haven't played Cave Story in over 5 years, it's worth it to just have it in a box, and it comes with a little guide, and it's adorable. And it's as good as you remember it is. That game ages very well, and that's all I'll say about it.
You guys remember when Cave Story was on WiiWare and it cost like $12, and people were really mad that it was so expensive, and it's just gone up in price.
yeah.
To $30 somehow. I mean, still a wonderful game, though. I would pay $30 for it if I'd never had played it before. So,
I've played it so many times. I still have it on. So I think on every computer that I've owned since, I don't know, maybe 2005, I have Cave Story in some iteration. And
have you beaten the final boss?
I just love returning to it every couple of years. What?
Have you beaten the final boss?
Nope. Absolutely not.
You're stuck on Genova.
This new version of me that finishes his games is very young. Very young.
This version of you should go back and finish FF7.
Another game that I finished multiple times on multiple difficulties is Nex Machina. Ooh. And I think that game is freaking awesome.
Cool.
It's so quick, it's so fast. It's one of the usually if a game is quick and fast. So first of all, I'll say it's like a top-down twin-stick shooter, very arcadey. Mm-hmm. You're trying to up your score. It's like other Housemarque games. It's Housemarque, right?
Yep.
It's like other Housemarque games in that you're kind of balancing doing damage to enemies along with saving the human.
Human saved.
It's really, really good. And in a lot of games that are kind of score attacky and crazy and twitchy and there's lots of things going on the screen, I often find it difficult to keep track of what's going on.
Yeah.
And for some reason with this game, that is not the case. There's a million things going on screen. I'm kind of still able to, avoid damage and deal damage when I need to and save the human. This game is really cool. I can see myself just playing this like in little bits for like a long time to come. What do you think, Griff?
So you got me this game, and I really liked it. I played it on the starter difficulty and beat it in like 3 hours one Saturday morning, and had a great time with it. Like just like you said, it's very. It's not chaotic. I would disagree with that. It's very much like a prioritization shooter where you have objectives, and that is where, well, if you're going for score and you're going for whatever, you're gonna like run through a level differently. So you find the humans, collect them, save them, get the upgrades, get the secrets, do all that stuff. Like it's kind of like an interesting triage of how you want to go to each level and do everything. You definitely don't have to. Like if a human dies, you won't game over or anything. It's just your multipliers go down. I like that a lot because, as somebody who's not super great at games, like I could have that as my objective, and that would be my reason for dying and restarting. It's like I need to get them all. And then the boss battles were also very, very fun. Not particularly challenging by any means, but nice. And what I really enjoyed was just kind of like the exploration side of it. As that's kind of weird to say, like, because the exploration is always just like shoot the thing you wouldn't expect to shoot, and then you go to a secret level. So I loved the whole play of it. Like it's kind of like the twin stick shooter platinum game equivalent, where everything's super tight, super neat. Anytime you fudge up, it's your own fault. It's not the fault of the game. You never feel like betrayed or overwhelmed. Bad camera angle or whatever. It's on you because you have all the tools in your arsenal. And like you said, it's very fast, which I like that a lot too. And moving from level to level is really quick. And just kind of checking out the achievements at the end. There's a lot of cool stuff where it's like, oh, dash at the end to get some bonus multiplier. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know there was a thing. But I don't know if I'm going to be in the same boat as you, Jamie, is like if I want to return to it, because I feel like, yeah, I get it. It's only going to get harder. And for me, I'm like, I don't know, but I'm not really good at twin-stick shooters, so this may be a challenge for me.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's so short. I think that, that's a general issue with the last two games they've put out.
No, it's not a shame. It's good. I need short games.
That's true, but part of me just yearns for a beefier experience where they really maybe filled out those boss fights, made a couple of them a little more challenging, like you say. I think the boss fights are thrilling because they allow you to. They're rather long, and because they're not too difficult, it really feels like this kind of epic battle that you're having with these bosses. But I wish maybe there was another level or two in there that kind of really jumped off of where they like the mechanics that they're displaying in the game. But I will go back and play more of it just because I think Pac-Man Championship DX taught me how to play games like that.
Ooh, you got my attention.
Yeah,
I was
not
half
that.
with you,
it's
half
not
not,
that.
and then I heard
it's definitely not that.
It's not
like,
that.
Oh!
No.
It's not that. I'm just saying that
Oh.
it's that kind of allure to me.
It's between that and Nier Automata.
All right. I love both of those, but I'm questioning now.
But all 100% mechanics.
Yeah.
Hey, when's Pac-Man DX2 coming out? Did that already come out? When am I going to beat
Dunno.
your
I
record?
think yes. No, it did. It did come out, and there were a couple weird things about it that made it not as loved as the first one.
Fuck that shit. I got to beat your record, Jamie.
The last thing that I played, which is surprisingly great, is Until Dawn, and it's just a Telltale teen slasher, but with more interaction and much better graphics.
And Rami Malek.
And Rami Malek and Hayden Panettiere. And the faces in this game are crazy. They're so... When you pause the game, you're looking at the face of whoever you're controlling at the time. You control all of the various teens, the millennials in the game. You control them all. Collect them all. And when you pause the game, you're just staring at their face. And the faces are really phenomenal and kind of creepy. I don't know if it's because I'm playing on the Pro on a 4K TV or what, but it's like... It's really kind of... I mean, it's beyond the uncanny valley, and what's uncanny about it is that they're so real.
How uncanny is Pieter Stormare?
Who?
She's pretty good. Her face is pretty spot on.
Who?
Peter Stormare?
Who's that?
Isn't
Oh,
he
I
the
thought you were
killer?
making... Who? What?
Peter Stormare, isn't he in it as well? He's like the big bad?
Griffin,
Oh, no, he's a psychologist.
Who are you talking about? I don't know who
Peter
that man
Stormare?
You can keep
he's
saying
the
it.
Russian guy that's like amazing.
Keep saying it. Skarsgård? There's a Skarsgård out there.
Stormare, Peter Stormare.
I don't... Okay, whatever, man.
I've never heard of this actor.
What?
Oh, wait. Yes, I have. I didn't know he was the big bad. I haven't finished it yet.
I'm sorry, I don't know if he's the big bad. He's a psychologist, I think, for sure.
Yeah, he's a psychologist in it, and he is
God.
fantastic in the game.
I just saw his face on Wikipedia. This man is amazing.
It's really good. He's amazing in the game. He has the best accent and his mannerisms, and this is the kind of game where his acting comes through because his little like facial things come through with the crazy high poly face they put on his character, and it's freaking awesome. And also, this is the first game that I've significantly noticed the PS4 boost mode going crazy in, because apparently when the game came out, like it ran like at really low FPS and it was really choppy, and at times it still is. But with boost mode on, and I toggled it on and off to see if it was actually boost mode, and it is. Like, it'll be like you'll be outside, you'll be walking through the forest, it'll be at like 25, 30 FPS, and then you'll be inside staring at like a box in the corner of a room, and it's like super smooth. It's kind of jarring.
That box can tear the fabric of time and space.
But that's it for what I've played.
All right. I think we got through them all. Might be
We did it.
record
Yeah,
time
it's
for
only
us.
an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which gives us plenty of time to talk about all the other stuff that's been happening in the last
Jesus
month
Christ.
after Evolution.
We haven't talked about any of these things, Griffin, including the
No,
SNES
we haven't.
Classic.
We haven't.
I don't think we need to go too deep on it unless you had some thoughts.
For which one?
SNES Classic?
No, I have no thoughts on that.
I'm going to get one.
I just want one real bad.
This is the only reason I want one, and tell me if you're on the same page, Jamie. I anticipate that it will be hacked in the same way as the NES Classic, and I can put whatever the hell I want on it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. It's a really bad reason to buy something. Because they could fix it.
I just want a tiny emulator that looks like an SNES and comes with 2 controllers. That sounds like a dream to me.
The big question is, though, which would you get?
What do you mean?
I would get because Geoff was so kind as to purchase for me an 8-bit controller in the style of the Super Famicom, and I feel like I already have that in my stable. I would go with my my purple controller with the divots if I have an option. What about you, Geoff?
I mean, the only one you can get is the purple one. I mean, you could get the
I know,
European
but
one, but...
Okay, well, let's watchdog this thing. I'm saying, like, if you could... Which would you prefer to get the American Super Nintendo, or would you want the glorious beauty, which is
Oh yeah,
the Super
no, of
Famicom.
course I'd want the Super Famicom. That thing is fucking
if you're
awesome.
talking about aesthetic bullshit of shells on your baby
Yeah.
emulator, which one would you want?
No, I want the Super Famicom. Hell yeah.
So would
I
you ever
kinda-
consider buying the Japanese one, cracking that B open, and then putting the guts of the American version into it?
No, because that's crazy.
Okay.
Did you know that they use like the little Wii Classic controller port for those? You guys know that?
Huh.
It's like literally the
I
same
did know
port
that.
that's on the bottom of the Wiimote.
And
So
people are
weird.
using these controllers to play games on the Wii.
Oh, are they really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Or at least someone is.
I should get
someone
one.
on YouTube was doing that.
I should get one.
But I'm excited. Hey, did you guys... Oculus with the controllers is $400. Who cares? Nobody.
Nope. I
Nobody
What?
cares. Not even me.
I saw it for $400 and I was like, oh, I could probably pay that kind of money. And then I was like, wait a minute.
But why?
Like, actually, why?
Yeah,
So I could be
had the same
vaguely
thought, too.
associated with like a Trump shell company, or
I was like, I could play the 3 games that people talk about.
hey man,
That's about it.
Lucky's Tale is already broken free of VR.
Oh, jeez.
Super Lucky's Tale. It's low rent Super Mario 3D World.
Oh, my God.
That game looked so, like it looked like it was like trying to channel the exact same emotions as a Mario game, except just 10 times worse. This is jumping.
I
a
feel
little
like
bit
VR
over
is
E3
in-
stuff, but
I feel like VR is in big trouble, man, because I have the Daydream VR, right? And there are some really cool games on the Daydream VR, including one from the people who made Monument Valley. It's an actually good game, and I could just throw it on in 5 seconds. I don't need to hook anything up, and it would just work. And I'm too lazy to even do that. I feel like if I'm too lazy to do that, then VR has no future.
I just don't see, like, it's 3D glasses. It's the same goddamn thing. People don't like putting shit over their eyes, and that's not going to
Yeah.
change anytime soon.
Yeah, and turning around while playing a game is really obnoxious.
Yes, there's no reason to do that. It's unfortunate because it's cool, like it's novel, and I think it's going to be great in like amusement parks and museums. But I just don't see it really having. I don't see it really having a lot of consumer value, like our home value yet. Maybe it
Yeah.
will someday, but we're not there. So,
Like, if I want to do something active, I'll go on a run.
Yep.
If I want to sit on my ass and play a video game, that's what I want to do.
the TV is still king and will remain king for a long time to come. But,
Yeah.
What else you got on here, Griff? Kingdom Hearts. I did not watch that trailer. Did you guys?
No, but I saw a still, and it was like
It's really
it was
jarring.
like really. It was what?
It's really jarring.
Yeah, it's quite strange.
Yeah. Griff, did you watch it? He's gone.
He's gone.
God knows where he's gone. All right, let's keep powering through this. How about that Castlevania on Netflix?
Not interested at all.
I actually want to watch it just to see, like, it. You know, it's gotten pretty mixed reviews, but I'd like to see something that might be a decent video game thing. I don't know.
So it's out.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. We could all watch it right
And
now
it's-
if we wanted to.
It's animated.
Yep.
And is it mature?
Apparently,
what's
it's like aping Game of Thrones, which to me is already a red flag. But
Oh God. I have enough. There's new Game of Thrones tonight.
Yes.
I have enough Game of Thrones in my life.
is there like only 2 more seasons of that left? Is this the second to last? Is that what they've announced?
Yes, this is the second to last, and they will be truncated in an effort to make each episode even more cinematic and awesome. I'm actually really, really, really... As you know, man, I started out in your boat. I was completely turned off by that show, and I am a huge convert, and that show is incredible, and everyone should watch it, including you.
Which show?
Are there titties
Game
in
of
it?
Thrones.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Are there dicks sometimes? Like the occasional dick?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Is there dragons?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Corypheus is in it, actually. Corypheus makes a guest appearance.
Are there people
He's
in
really-
armor and swords?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh man.
What about Castlevania, though? Griff?
Should
That's
people
how we
be
got
more
on this
concerned
subject.
about their health and less concerned about dominating a region?
Yeah, I don't really get why
Yes.
they all like the Iron Throne so much. Like they should probably calm down about that shit.
They probably should, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like that's comfortable. Like I would go that crazy for like an Aeron chair, but not for like that weird thing.
Do you think Casper will ever make an Iron Throne?
No, but the mattress company, do make a cushion for your chair.
Oh,
have you guys seen the ads for Purple on Facebook?
I have. They're very bizarre.
They're very bizarre. They're like, you can tell if your bed is awful if you drop a piece of tempered glass on it and it breaks eggs. And I'm like, does that actually tell you anything about the quality of the mattress? Like, I don't know if I want my eggs to break or not. Like, I don't understand why this is a good thing.
Wait, is Purple like a vasectomy ad? If I drop a piece of glass onto my eggs,
no, it's a mattress.
Things don't go well.
It's a mattress ad.
Okay,
it's very strange. And people, I read the comments because I'm like, nobody's falling for this bullshit, are they? And they're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Look at these other scrubs, and I'm like, what is happening? Just make up some nonsense.
So what is post E3? What is that?
Well, let me rewind it back here and just talk a little bit about Castlevania, unless you guys discussed that already.
No.
Did you watch it?
Okay, I did. I watched it all last night.
Oh.
Whoa.
I watched La La Land, and then I watched Castlevania, and then I watched One Punch Man until 3 a.m.
One Punch Man's great.
Nice.
One Punch Man is freaking awesome.
I watched like 4 episodes, and I loved it. But
yes, I watched 2, and I adore it.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Anyway.
Yeah. So Castlevania, not as good as One Punch Man.
That's too bad.
First of all, it's an anime, if you couldn't put that together. It doesn't star Ryan Gosling or Emma Stone.
It's like an American... it's like a cartoon, though, right? Not an anime.
It's an anime. Oh. I mean, people don't get, like, sweat drops and cat faces, but, I mean, it's an anime like Guts is an anime.
Is it made by, like, a Japanese team, or is it very clearly Western?
From all accounts, everybody on the internet says it's a very obviously Western anime.
Okay.
Or anime cartoon.
So anime style, but Western influences.
I don't really know. Like, I've been out of the game for a while, and I'd say, like, one of the things it reminds me of is, like, a Witch Hunter... No, like a... What's it?
Witch Hunter Robin?
Witch Hunter Robin, or, like, a Wolf's Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, those weird things where you're like, oh, nothing animates. It's, like, a lot of static backgrounds and a lot of CG.
That just means low budget.
What about the gay one that Geoff bought at the Big Apple Anime Fest 2004?
Wait, are there any little sisters in it that can't possibly be this cute, or no? Because that's how you know it's an anime.
Yes, there are. Actually, there are, Geoff.
Oh.
That's a great point.
All right.
Yeah, so Castlevania on Netflix. First of all, voice acting, not so hot, but the whole... it's 4 episodes. Each episode's like 20 to 30 minutes. So it's very easily doable if you want to watch them all. And it's really good. It's good. Like, I'd recommend going for the long haul. Like, don't fizzle out after the first or second, because the 4th episode very much has a lot of, like, cool Castlevania references and sets up for, like, a very a future Castlevania show on Netflix, which is great.
You mean like an 8-episode season 2? Something like that?
What's that?
I just said you mean like an 8-episode season 2? Something like that?
Yeah, is that on the docket?
It got renewed, yeah.
Okay, cool, great. Well, that's good, because a lot of falling through floors. Like, I'd say it's probably 70% of people falling through floors.
Would you say that there are any miserable piles of secrets, or no?
There are no miserable piles of secrets.
No.
But Dracula is really cool in it. You have to get over the hump and kind of just give it some credence of what it's doing for the sake of the story. And, you know, it's like, who is the real monster? Is it Dracula, or is it the church, or is it humans, you know? So, you know, very anime in that regard. But I would recommend watching it. The action scenes are fun, few and far between, but fun. The main character is fine. The secondary character is much more interesting. And the world that it kind of... The life that it breathes into Castlevania is actually really cool if you kind of, like, take that lens and turn it onto Castlevania. And we're like, oh, interesting. Like, so all these people kind of suck here. Huh. So I enjoyed that.
How much of this is promotional lore for the upcoming Castlevania erotic violence pachinko machine?
100%. Is it... Starring Michael Fassbender, yeah.
Which was it that had the erotic violence? Was it Castlevania or was it Bomberman? I can't remember. There is a pachinko that has erotic violence. I'm going to look it up. It's a Konami one.
Of course it is.
It's probably Gradius. Ship-on-ship action.
Yes. Erotic.
I would recommend watching it if you... I mean, I don't know if you guys have the free 2 hours to watch it, but that versus La La Land, I'd go with Castlevania, and then probably just go One Punch Man. The juxtaposition there was, like, watching that and be like, oh, this is... Everybody's saying, like, oh, Western animation, it's kind of... It's not great. It's not great animation. And then watching One Punch Man, which is very much like a Japanese animation, and it's fluid and beautiful and intense and dynamic, and I was like, wow, this is what this is.
Did you know that it was based off a webcomic?
What is?
One Punch Man.
I didn't, but I also know that Castlevania is written by Warren Ellis, which makes me super happy. Thus the anger towards the church and all that stuff.
Oh. Interesting.
I do like Warren Ellis quite a bit. Thus, the tattoo.
I don't know who he is.
Okay, he's a Western angry man and comic book author.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we do E3 stuff, guys? Before we
should, but we should keep it. We should we should keep it light because I gotta run.
Should we just
let's keep it lean. Just 2 more quick hits here. No Kuni 2 was delayed. That sucks.
It does suck.
Probably 2018. But hopefully that means they put some more spit polish on the gameplay. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 was part of the D23 that happened this week.
Yeah, we talked about that and how it looked really jarring.
Whoa, I thought it looked great.
I mean, it looked
Toy Story?
The graphics for Toy Story looked great. It just Sora in that world looked really weird.
It looked weird, but also cool. Like, for me, it was like, I'm ready. Hello, I'm ready to go back. I'm
surprised they announced 2018. I give it 0 credence, but I'm surprised they announced year.
Right. It's a question. What will come up first? Final Fantasy VII Remake or Kingdom Hearts?
You guys know that they brought FF7 back in house, right? They took it away from CyberConnect.
Yes, I do know that. I'm saying.
Apparently, the reason why is because Tetsuya Nomura did not like one of the trailers. He felt like it wasn't square enough. So that game's going to be terrible.
Oh, of course, just like the original.
Oh, you monster! I actually watched the SGDQ speed run of that game. Not always paying attention, but that game is actually still really good. Like, there's some really incoherent parts in it. Much more so than like Final Fantasy IX, which I think holds up really well even now in terms of the story, but it's a cool story. All right. Anyway.
That was great. I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm just
there's some really cool parts in that story, which stuff that I didn't even remember, which I was like, yeah, that actually is really neat. And other Final Fantasy games still have not done that kind of thing.
I had to reset my connection. Jeff, are you talking about Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy VII? Because they could both be interchangeable at this point.
FF7.
Okay.
The actual game. So I watched a speed run on SGDQ of FF7, and there are some moments in that game which are really unique. Like, do you guys remember the part where Cloud just starts beating the shit out of Aeris?
No.
So
nope.
When you get the black materia, Cloud just starts beating Aeris up, which is why she leaves your party.
Holy crap.
Yeah, because he's like possessed by Sephiroth. There's some cool shit in there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like the best game ever. We all know that. Game. All of us are agreement on that.
Justify the abuse, of course. Yeah.
She was asking for it. Shouldn't have given him that lip.
But yeah, no, I love that game.
Yeah.
You know that.
No, I do know that.
That remake is gonna kill it for me.
It's gonna be yeah. Oh, you mean kill it as in destroy everything that was wonderful about it?
Yeah.
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
You mean shine a spotlight on the garbage that is Final Fantasy VII?
The expanded universe is garbage across the board, but we won't go down this path.
I mean, there's some good stuff out there.
No, we're not going to go down this road. We know where this leads.
Right.
Yep.
It's a dirge.
We don't want to have a crisis on our hands.
No.
Nice, Jeff.
Yeah.
Is that it for this week? Do we have another thing?
We can talk quickly about post E3 stuff. I mean,
Jamie
it's
won.
been the months since that happened, so I think that the big thing to just quickly knock out here, Jamie, you put that doc together. We did all those predictions of last time. Does anybody have any just like hot takes from the whole event that they want to get on? Air some dirty laundry on, just have some thoughts on.
I have a quick hot take. I thought that Microsoft was really solid. Probably nothing to really elevate them though, but I think they did a great job. I thought that Sony was really boring, like really boring.
Agreed.
And I'm feeling that kind of feeling of malaise that I so often feel about these big guys. And I'm really excited about the Switch. Surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah, I felt a lot of like, this is just lame. Like, I don't like this. And I don't
So
think
there's
other
absolutely
people
no
do either.
question that Mario Odyssey was the best thing to come out of this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right.
I mean, I have some trepidation about the game now. I wonder if it will be as solid a platformer as like Galaxy 2 was, or even 3D World for that matter. But it looks super imaginative and fun. So
Yeah. I watched some of the extended stuff with the treehouse, and just like the scope in which you can explore things seems really cool. And dare I say, it gets a little Banjo-Kazooie.
it does, which I don't love.
I don't either, but I also never liked Banjo-Kazooie, so maybe if it's a Mario wrapper, I might enjoy it more.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did find myself being like, ooh, I don't know, like this is amazing and I'm delighted by it, but I'm also a little worried that like one of your prizes comes from just putting on a pair of clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't know if that's what I want from my Mario game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put on some clothes. It's me. Clothes Mario.
I think that it remains to be seen kind of what the balance will be between kind of exploration-based stuff where it's like solve a simple puzzle, or like straight up Mario platforming. And it seems like there's a bit of both, but the little kind of bit that we've been drip fed thus far is like just enough. And I need a little more.
I think my big takeaway from this E3 is that I think that Microsoft is in. They had a great show in terms of the games, but I think that the Xbox One X is in pretty big trouble. I think they missed the mark pretty widely on the price point, and I think that it's going to be relegated to that kind of system that you see when you're watching, like, you go on YouTube, you see some crazy collector going through his collection and describing the various systems that he collected.
Yeah.
And then he comes to one and he's like, oh, this is the Jaguar. It was okay, but it was really, really crazy expensive and it had no games.
Right. This was the 3DO.
Guys,
Yeah.
they had a cooling method that was named for that system. It was like the Noguchi cooling method. I really want to know what it is. It's probably just a fan.
Yep.
It's definitely a shame because that from the Giant Bomb Phil Spencer interview, like that company's heart is in the right area.
Yeah.
They just don't have the stable of games to make it matter to me. Which
Exactly.
It's only been dwindling as time has gone on. Like Xbox 360 era, I was like, yes, I will buy this because there's games I want to play, and it just keeps going down and down and down. So it's like, why do I want to buy a Scorpio?
Yeah,
Not for PUBG. Not for PUBG. I got a PC for that.
I think they're hanging in there, kind of in terms of like doing all right relative to PS4 and occasionally winning in the US. I think that the calculus for Microsoft about remaining in the console market is probably getting harder, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they justify another generation when they have other ways to deliver their games. And I think that if their only good market is the US, it's a harder equation for them.
That's a great point. Yeah.
But by the same token, it's not like Sony did a lot to light a fire under their ass, because that press
No.
conference sucked.
It was very much a mediocre presentation across the board, except for Ubisoft, which once again was like, holy crap, my heartstrings being torn asunder. Like, this is the most human, adorable presentation again. Where it's like, last year for me, it was like the Star Trek bridge crew. I was almost in tears. And this year, it was like the Rabbids meets Mario thing. And then the whole, like, even though Beyond Good and Evil does not interest me one iota. The whole presentation of it, where it's like everybody's on stage just hugging. I was like, God damn, Ubisoft, you're so. I just want to like you.
Wait, you guys aren't interested in Rabbids?
Oh,
I am.
No, I'm interested in Rabbids a lot.
Oh, okay,
I'm not
good,
interested in
good,
Beyond Good and Evil, though. I saw that
Right.
tech demo, and I was like, this is No Man's Sky, except just worse.
Yep. Yeah, I'm there with you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also think that they won and they had the most heart, and I think
Yeah,
that we need
for
to
sure.
get back to a point where we have devs on stage, not like
Yeah.
you know, shoutcasters, not Sean Layden. I want like actual devs giving me some context for what I'm seeing.
Although Aisha Tyler, she can come back.
Yeah, she can.
I've never. I liked the fact that this was dev-led.
No, I did too.
Led.
Yeah, I did too.
I wouldn't mind her being there because she has a good rapport with most people whom she brings up, I find.
She does, but I also liked it that this is the first time it was like, it's all just developers. Like everybody's, it's kind of like, you know, EA. It's EA, but they did EA right.
Developers. That.
I gotta run downstairs, guys.
All right, let's put a bow on it.
Yeah.
Hey, Wolfenstein looks real good too, by the way.
Oh heck yeah, I forgot
Oh
about
my
that.
God.
That looks fucking awesome.
I want to play the Old Blood now.
I still have not played it.
No, I won't play it either. I'm not interested. But I will play the new one.
Anyway, guys, this was cool. Let's do one before it's been like a month and a half.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
See you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.